Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for bringing me again today. This video will have to do with Ukraine and what's going on over there, mostly. And we start with a Russian nighttime attack. Not a big one or a massive one, but nevertheless that has consequences in Moldova and not only. So here is the first article coming from Ukrainska Pravda. This is from Monday, November 11th, 2024. Russian nighttime attack. Ukrainian forces down 39 drones and 2 missiles. Evidence provided as always. Russia fired 2 air-to-surface missiles and 74 drones on Ukraine on the night of 10 to 11 November, while air defense destroyed both missiles and 39 drones. But I have a feeling that about 30 or something will be lost or something like that. The Russian attacked Ukraine on the night of 10 to 11 November with 2 Kh-59-69 air-to-surface missile launched from the temporary occupied territories of, very important, Zaporozhye Oblast, and 74 Shahed attack UAVs and unidentified drones launched from the Russian cities of Kursk, Primorsko-Akhtarsk, Oryol and Bryansk. So where they started from, they shot them from Zaporozhye, this area right here. Then you have down here, Primorsko-Akhtarsk is across from the Sea of Azov right here. Then you have Kursk in the north, Kursk, Oryol, Bryansk, this area. Why I say it was interesting? Because I suspect that, and I predict that the next phase of Russian war here or military operation will be on Zaporozhye, next push on Zaporozhye and here towards Odessa. I think things are going for the Russians very well in this area here, which is Kharkiv, Kharkov, Luhansk and Donetsk, this especially in Donetsk. So now they're going to focus, obviously they have Kursk garbage still here, the invasion of the Westerners with the hands of the Russian cousins, Ukrainians. All right, let's move on. So we have here that the Russians have been down in, so this is where they attacked, what areas? Zhytomyr, Kiev, Poltava, Sumy, Cherkasy, Zaporozhye, Chernihiv, Dnipropetrovsk and Mykolaiv Oblast. Those are in the east. Mainly, maybe we can consider Kiev in the center. So Kiev, Chernihiv, Sumy, Kharkiv, Kharkov, Poltava, Cherkasy, and then Dnipropetrovsk and Mykolaiv. So this right up behind the front, and then Kiev here and Cherkasy. All right, let's see what else they have to tell us. That's right here. Okay. How did I know that? I didn't read the article, okay? A total of 30 drones had disappeared from radar in different regions of Ukraine, and another 3 Russian UAVs left Ukrainian airspace heading towards Belarus and the temporary occupied territories. That's how I know they're lying. Why? Because I could predict how much, and I'm not lying. I didn't read the article. I don't read the articles. Before I start here, I rarely skim through some just to make sure that's exactly the message it's in the article. I know what these guys are going to say. Why? A pattern. I realized from previous videos, from previous articles coming from Ukrainska Pravda, the proportion. When they downed 20 drones, then about 25 drones are missing. When they down 30 drones, there's about 30 drones. It's almost equal because they have to go to about 5 drones that somehow they're hit something. 5 out of, let's say in this case, almost 80, I think. That's why this is, I don't believe anything these guys say. Just so you know, I reported. Definitely the Russians launched, I don't believe anything these guys are saying. If I'm able to go to exactly that, and I'm not doing this just to create a, oh my god, Emil read it and now he makes a point. I don't care actually if you believe what I'm saying. I'm just happy right here that I was able just to come with 30 before I even went down the article. Okay, well, it's for me. It's just for me a confirmation. Ukrinform, next article. It's not that I'm saying I don't care if you believe me or not. It's not that, oh, I care if you believe me or not. It's just that if you believe me or not of reading this article, that's what I mean. I never lied here. Never lied. And I have no intention of lying here. You can lie in other spheres, but not here. Ukraine form, they lie for us. Long enough they've been lying to us to do the same thing they do. Ukrainian forces intercept 2 Russian Kh-59-69 missiles, 39 drones overnight, so almost 40 drones. Again, that's the same piece of information, but coming from a different thing. Here, 74 Shahed strike drones, the same information. Oops, we go over that thing. And the same what they destroyed. All right, let's go to the next topic, which comes from the New Voice of Ukraine. Russian forces pushing on all fronts. Ukrainian troops advance in Kursk Oblast. So this comes from, let's get out of this garbage here. The Russians are advancing, are pushing on all fronts and advance in Kursk Oblast. Remember, this is from Monday, November 11, 2024. So that means the Russians are pushing on all fronts, right? Including advancing or here in Kursk. All right, that comes from the Ukrainians, not from anybody else here. Russian and Ukrainian forces recently advanced in the main Ukrainian salient in Kursk Oblast amid ongoing fighting. So both advanced. So they're just going around like this, shifting. And this is according to the, don't believe these guys either, Institute for the Study of War. Why? You look at whose enterprise this is. I told you, and I will tell you again until you get it, until I condition you to understand that Institute for the Study of War is the person in charge of it is Kimberly Kagan. I'm not going to say Keegan anymore because it's Kagan from Kaganovich, Lazar Kaganovich. Remember Kaganovich in Soviet Union, that criminal? And they say Stalin killed 20 million Russians, but who brought him the list? Mr. Lazar Kaganovich, and he was also in the Holodomor. He had his little claw or hoof in the Holodomor, the Ukrainian genocide. Kaganovich, go and look for him, Lazar. And so we have Kimberly Kagan, who's just Jewish. She's married with Mr. Kagan, and Mr. Kagan, also Jewish, has a brother, also Jewish, another Kagan, and that Kagan brother is married to Victoria Nuland. Kagan, okay? So we got all 4 playing a hora, hapa zapa. Every time I do this, I think of that movie, Silence of the Lamb. Is that how it is? The Silence of the Lamb, with that guy who's like, oh my God. You know, with that guy in text, oh my God, that's always hilarious. So anyway, they want to play a horror right there, you know, in that style. The bad dude in that movie is like hilarious. So don't believe these guys, it's an enterprise. And the Ukrainians are using only that, or only they have that one in the deep state that they use it, but they use Institute for the Study of War. Nah, this is not what they say they are. According to geolocated footage, Ukrainian troops advance north of Novoyavanovka, southeast of Korenevo, while the Russian forces advance south of the settlements and also south and east of Pogrebki. And they show you here, this is the, how do you call it, Kursk. Every time I have to remember Kursk from the tank battle in Second World War. So this is the Russians, obviously, and here is where definitely is Ukrainian claim right here, limit of Ukrainian advance, and then claim, this is the yellow is the Russian who claim advances right here. Claimed Russian advances, Russian advances clearly, and then Russian and Ukrainian settlements. So this is the whole thing the Ukrainians have, the blue stuff. This is right here. But the Russians are a little bit slow in this one, all right? So that's another one. Remember, this is the way it looks, the slow advance, but they're pushing them back, and I'm confident that would happen. All right, let's go to the next topic. Ukrainian troops successfully counter Russian advance in Donetsk Oblast, they say. So I'm suspecting that is by Pokrovsk, but Pokrovsk is one of the most successful fronts that the Russians have right here. This is Pokrovsk. The Russians call it Krasnoarmeysk. So this is where the Russians are. I mean, look at this. It doesn't mean the Ukrainians can't push them back in a, I know, in a Hollywood movie, but in reality, I think they're toast. So let's see what these guys are saying. Ukrainian troops are successful in counterattacks and regaining certain positions, thus maintaining a stable defense against enemy attacks. And I'm quoting, I can say that the Pokrovsk and Kharkov sectors, as well as Toretsk and Chasiv Yar, I'm going to show you, are holding. So that he's talking about here, and Chasiv Yar is here. So this right here. Chasiv Yar is from Artemovsk right here. It's Bakhmut in other terms. So he's talking about this area. Supposedly these guys are holding. All right, let's look like this. Artemovsk from here. All this they're holding. It doesn't look to me too good, but well, what can you do? Okay, all the tasks we have today are being performed perfectly by the soldiers there. Yeah, and you have a lot of desertion, 1 in 5. Okay, in the current conditions, everything is being done to prevent the enemy from developing a rapid pace of operation. So that means they have a pace of operation, but they don't want it to be rapid. This is the most important thing today, and these tasks are being fulfilled. Any successes the enemy has are tactical successes and local significance. Okay, good for you, good for you. So let's go to the next article coming from Ukrainska Pravda. Second drone found in Moldova after Russian attack on Ukraine, Sunday the 10th. The Russians launched on the 10th the biggest drone attack since the beginning of this, whatever it's in Ukraine, and there were about 145 something drones. So they claim that 2 drones just fell on the Moldovan territory. Well, now that's bad. What are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you what they will be told to do. They will start yapping and yelling that their airspace was violated, which it did. It was violated. What are you going to do about it? Well, listen to the Americans, and when they tell you what to do, you will do it. And they will. They will come and denounce it. Yes. How about you ask the Americans to deploy some air defense systems to protect the Moldovan people? The Romanian people. How about that? It's coming. If. All right, it's too late. The second drone in a day was found in Moldova's north on Sunday after a massive Russian UAV attack against Ukraine. So where is that at? I call it a fake country because I don't think Moldova should be a country. That's I think it should come back to its mother, which is Romania, together with North Bukovina right here, and this part of Moldova, or Basarabia. This is Basarabia, not Moldova. Part of Moldova. This is Moldova, taken by Stalin, the Gruzin, the Georgian Stalin, not the Russian, in 1940. Through an ultimatum. So all this was taken because the Romanians gave it to them, and the Germans were okay with that. So when the Germans call us, the Romanians, a stab in the back on the 23rd of August 1944, we say, fuck you. You dropped us in 1944 or 1940 with your Molotov cocktail, okay? Molotov and what the hell is his name now? Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact. When you said, we don't care about your interests, told Stalin, we don't care about your interest in Moldova and Romania, you can take whatever you want. So you motherfuckers, you dropped us first. So don't give me that shit. Oh my God, you let us, you are just, no, you did it first. So we did the same way. Why? You claim national interest, so can we. So all that garbage was given to Stalin, and after the fall of the Soviet Union, it did not come back where it was stolen from, but instead it was given to Ukraine, and created an artificial country. That's why I have a problem with Moldova. So this is northern Moldova. These guys say they found the drones, the second one. And what do we find here from Ukrinform? Moldova responds to Russian drones entering its airspace. Sluj. Romanians, do you know what sluj means? Sluj. Sluj means people who serve. This sluj. Sluji. Hey, how's that? Scusi. Remember that movie? Scusi. With the legs crossed. Scusi. So here, sluji. All right, let's move on. Man, I'm getting myself in a good mood by myself. I must be crazy. Never claimed otherwise. The 2 Russian drones crashed in Moldova after violating the country's airspace and endangering people's life. The two Russian decoy drones used to mislead Ukrainian air defenses crashed in Moldova today, endangering Moldovan lives, no, Romanian lives, and violating our, go back, all right, Jesus Christ, oh, fuck, you want something, and violating our airspace. We firmly condemn these aggressive incursions and reiterate our condemnation of Russia's brutal war against Ukraine. You have all that right, but are you a country? All right, move on. Next. Russia may launch major offensive in Kursk Oblast with North Korean troops. That, I don't know if that's already proven that they are over there. We just are told that they are over there. By whom? By the people who have an interest, that Kebono. The total number of soldiers preparing for the offensive could reach 50,000. Now it's a given. It's not a report, say. That's how they do it. They just come with half-truths, bring half-truths, okay, and ignore other evidence, and they support their theory or their statement. That's how they do. But when you say, okay, let's talk about it, one by one, it's going to be, nah, you can't use this argument. This evidence that you have is not agreed upon. It's not a consensus of that. So you discard that one. Next argument, you discard that one. You discard each and every one because they're all, according to this one, half-truth. This is another technique, so be careful when they start with something at the beginning and then the end it's a given. It's a reality. No, it's not a reality. They worked on it. When they started, it was some reports, this kind of intelligence believes, and then after a week or two, that's a fact right there, and they start from there. They take it like, you know, in a track and field, you take that, how do you call that, stafeta, and you go and you bring it to the baboons. Pay attention to that one. Next one. Okay, it's a given right here. 50,000 Russian and North Korean soldiers preparing for a large-scale offensive in Kursk Oblast, New York Times. Now, another piece of shit that wants to be believed, and just remember, if you don't remember, you can find that out. It's not hard, or just start right now, year 0. And pay attention and see how many times New York Times misinforms, disinforms, lies by omission, and then why would you trust them again? Why would you read them again? I do this because you have to, say maybe, possibly, and so on. But people really believe in what? New York Times, Washington Post, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Forbes magazine, who knows what the hell out of the garbage are over there. They take it as, oh man, CNN said that. It's like a clown in a circle to tell you something. Who? You believe that? Or the Hollywood movies. That's how much I believe them. Like a Hollywood movie. It's based on reality. How much? I don't know. Every time when I watch them, I don't watch movies. But when someone makes me watch a movie, or usually women, I gotta tell you this. But it's based on reality. It's based on reality. And my first question is, how much is it? And what are the points based on him? So. And they're like, I would like to know. That's very important. You don't, because they suck the movie, the entire movie, because it's based on reality. And the only thing that's real and based on reality is one man called Gigi. That's it. That's it. The rest is made up by the script writers. That's it. But they don't ask these questions. Why? Some people like to be lied. And that's their reality. But they have to vote. And when you argue with them, they bring you that as evidence. Fuck me, Freddy. Anyway, let's move on. Now, there's going to be preparing a large-scale offensive. The Russians have, remember the Second World War? If you read about it. The Russians transferred troops from east that were guarding against the Japanese, who had a mild invasion at one point, if you remember that one. And then they got back. Hitler told them, open the second front, we will be able to destroy these guys here. Japanese says, yeah, just a little bit. Hi, and then nothing. Nay, yeah. And that yeah is no, hi is yes in Japanese. So hi first and then yeah, and they move towards their own interests. So these guys, the Soviet Union was able to transfer their Asiatic or Asian troops from the Far East on the front and pushed the Wehrmacht back, zurück. All right, so that's what it was. Now, those guys did not look like me and you. I'm not talking about all of them, but they didn't. Why? Because they were from their little provinces in that area deployed over there. You don't have a guy from Moldova all the time deployed to Vladivostok. It happened because they tried to, diversity, our strength as well. So remember, when these guys, the Russians, bring troops here, probably from other areas, you can say they are North Koreans. Why? And they're called somehow the Farup, I can't remember the term. People who look different, but it can be, oh, that's a North Korean. It's a North Korean, it could be a Chinese. How do I know? Or it could be a, I don't know, Japanese. If I put me here, certain people, I can tell you it's a Mongolian, I mean, kind of a Japanese, a Chinese, a North Korean, a South Korean. How do I distinguish? I undress them, taste them, what am I doing? No. So the same. When you're going to see these kind of troops, they did the same in the Second World War. Next one. The Russians liberate a little town of Bethlehem, according to Sputnik. Russian army liberates Kolesnikovka settlement in Kharkov area region. I will tell you where, I will show you where that is. It's right here. See it? By this beautiful river they are trying to cross in order to get to Kupiansk. So Oskil River. So here is the little town of Bethlehem, and where is that located? You have the Kupiansk and that area. So let me show you another map on the big scheme of things. We're going to go from here to Kharkov in this area here. So this is the river. So this is Kupiansk. This is what's going to be conquered pretty soon. This is the river here, and this is where they liberated, according to the Russians, the town. So they're coming this one. This is Pristin. I will show you where Pristin is. This is Kupiansk. So let's go back to this. Pristin is northeast a little bit of this one, Pristin. So this is the town. Oh, you don't see it. The town here, and Pristin is right here. So northwest on this map. If you look here, northwest. So I think that the Russians are indeed advancing all over the place. I have another, 3 articles, and I'm going to show you what the Russians are doing to the Westerners, which is Russia scrambles 8 bombers, but missile launchers are likely to be simulations. So these guys shit their pants when the Russians are scrambling 8 bombers. That are 295s, I think. Yeah, right here. 295 MS strategic bombers. This is what they scrambled. Why? They are nuclear. They can carry nuclear missiles on them. So when these guys are up, NATO shits its pants because they don't know if the Russians started their little nuclear war. Why? Here. France to deliver more Scalp and Mistral missiles to Ukraine. For what? For this. French President and UK Prime Minister seeks to convince Biden to allow Ukraine to strike deep inside Russia. The Telegraph. This is from Monday. This is from Monday. The other one, the previous article, is again from yesterday. All right, and the Russians scrambled today, right, on the 11th. Is it? Right here, November. So today this scrambled because the imbeciles a day before said they will deliver these things, and these guys today said we're going to do and allow them to strike deep inside Russia. And Russia tells them, you do that, we do this. We are ready. We're just warming up on the side of the field. You know how you warm up your ankles? That's exactly what the Russians are doing. And the imbeciles over there are like, what are the Russians doing? Well, what they told you they will do. The Russians will use tactical nuclear weapons against NATO countries. And what do you think will happen? America will be back there fighting with your guys, the Russians, nuclear weapons. And when the Russians are going to a little bit hit the American banking system or the international banking system, the military industrial complex contractors and their energy industry, they will talk to Putin immediately. But as of now, you're the one who's going to fight for them. And them are these interests that I mentioned. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I hope these guys don't think that the Russians will just stop in Europe, as Peskov, I think, said, or Lavrov. The Americans think, and all of you Europeans think that the war will be confined to Europe. No, it's going to go to the United States of America, to you too, to Canada. So if you think that you little baboon Trudeau and whomever is going to defend you against evil European Putin, you're gravely mistaken. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.